This is NEM 2014, and I'm really happy to have here in my session interview room Antony, Executive Vice President of Original Programming and Production, HBO Europe. Thank you for coming and
for inviting me.
How did you, watching on that some kind of process of having European or Israeli production and try to adapt that for a bigger international audience?
Well, my firm belief is that if you focus on the audience that you're primarily making the program for, which is your local audience, you have a better chance of achieving internationality than by going in and making something like we used to call a Euro pudding. In other words, a bit of Germany, a bit of Austria, and people speaking a language, a second language with an accent, those sorts of things. So my strong belief is that we should focus on our local markets, and then when we do it right, we'll find that those programs are welcomed by people in other countries and other linguistic groups and so on.
It's interesting because Eastern Europe is kind of in black still for producing for that international market. How did you decide to go for the Czech story from 1969?
The whole point of what I do within the HBO firmament is local programming. We knew that that was going to resonate locally. We also knew that it had very universal story values. It was certainly a story of heroism, focusing on the lawyer who risked everything, her marriage, the education of her children and such, to take on the case on behalf of the Palak family. So it was a very recognizable good versus bad, big moral choices and a character had to make. And that's the stuff of drama since Aeschylus, and this is the essence, this is the heart. So we had a strong local subject, universal story values. We had a terrific set of scripts by a first-time writer, effectively, a young student. He wrote the first draft as his graduation film at FAMU, the Prague Film School. And then attached as well was a world-class director, both an auteur director from Central European region, Polish, but also someone who directed The Wire and Treme for HBO and The Killing in the American version. So she crossed the two cultures of aesthetic, of knowing American styles of storytelling but being deeply rooted in the region. And she was trained at FAMU in 1969, so she had a huge, this was became a very personal project for Agnieszka Holland. And finally, the thing was that we, as a subscription channel, we need to do things that other people are not doing. And it was quite clear that no other broadcaster in the Czech Republic was going to take on this story, so we did.
How could you see that HBO in the next 5 or 10 years? Is it going to be about HD quality, or is it going to be about higher production? Is it going to be about real stories?
I think we're very optimistic in Europe, HBO Europe, about what we can achieve. There's a number of reasons for that. Our start has been quite modest. As I say, we're doing a show a year in each of 4 territories, and 12 or thereabouts documentaries a year from all over the region, including Adria region around here. I think that will only grow, is my instinct. I think that the importance of having local content on a channel like ours is increasing, not diminishing.
As a consumer, when you're sitting in your living room watching the TV, what's going to be your choice? And do you have that program through the traditional linear broadcasting platform, or do you using OTTs or SVODs or
as part of it, HBO has an offering, HBO Go, which is one of those offerings which clearly I access. I think that I take an unfashionable view about the consumer. I think that there are occasions when binge watching is fantastic. Maybe you've got the flu, or it's so cold outside that you don't want to go anywhere and you want to spend 3 days watching one show. At the same time, I think there is clear evidence, and I speak for myself as well, that the sense of anticipation that you've got to wait a week can bring its own pleasures.
Thank you, Antony. It was really a pleasure to speak with you. It was NEM 2014. Antony from HBO Europe was with us. Thank you.